What's going on, people? Welcome to Man Knows Football. You are here with me live, and Younes will be here in a few minutes. Don't worry, he will show up. Let me just close this door. Hold on. Yes, people. Big up everybody that has been patiently waiting. Apologies. Did have a few minutes of delay, and so did Younes, actually, coincidentally. I think he was trying to sort something out on his computer. I can't remember what it was. But how's everyone feeling, man? Let me just try and gauge the mood up in this chat. Interesting. Well, we're going to discuss about transfers when Younes gets here. Bruv, if they offered it to me, I tell you straight up and down, I would not take it. No way. No matter how much money they offered me, I'm just, no way. Can't take that job. Kunku is unlikely. Well, let's see, man. Let's see. I think things have started off positively. You get me? Things are looking positive. And the main man himself, Younes Talks Football, has arrived. Currently adjusting his mic there backstage. I see. Look, the mood is Lukaku. Hell yeah! Let's introduce the legend, Younes. What's going on, my bro?
Yo, how you doing? Thanks for the intro.
Yeah, man. Listen. It's been an interesting couple of days. Obviously, me and you, we've spoken, bro. And right now, it's just like Marina's gone on Monday.
Yep.
Lukaku's announced on Tuesday. What's happening today on Wednesday? There's still a couple of hours left for some action, I believe.
Ah, bro, we've already got action. We've got a new board.
Oh, yeah, we got the news on the top, but I'm talking about like incomings and that. You know what I mean?
Oh, no. Like the small link with Rafinha. Nothing really much. Lukaku's left, which is great. There was a little update about Dembele, and apparently a message from his entourage that come out and said he wants to stay. That's a really reliable one as well, by the way. That's come directly from his entourage. So don't know. Maybe it could be a case of just trying to persuade Barca to put more on the table.
It could be that.
Could be a tactic. Who knows? But yeah, apart from that, sunny day.
Look, let's start this video with the positives, because this season we've been through so many negatives. But that one there kind of hurt my heart. I'm not going to lie to you. But look, we're going to start off with positives. We have got the big dinosaur out of the club, a.k.a. Romelu Lukaku has got his wish and will be off to Inter Milan. Now, the only thing is, where I couldn't fully bust a smile was the fact that there's no obligation to buy. Yeah, and not that I really care about the price tag that was involved in it. But from when I was originally seeing Chelsea were looking for the region of around 20 million, and now we've settled for 7. What do you think of that, Younes?
8 million euros.
8 million euros. You know what I mean?
We're scrapping for spare change at this rate. We're just like looking on the floor, like, what can we get? No, man, it's peak. Look. We can't save any face in this situation. We have been scammed. We've been fully scammed. Yeah, we are. We just got to take the L and run with it and take the hits and keep moving. Like it's that bad. Inter hold all the cards in this. I genuinely think that I don't think they're going to be petty. So I do think at the end of the loan they'll put in a bid to keep him permanently. Surely, I don't see how. If they're petty, they could send him back.
Wow, I wouldn't.
If they sent him back and then they go, we want him on loan again, but this time a 4 million euro fee, and we have to say yes.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I would definitely not put it against them to take both. If they do extend this loan and still not buy him, it wouldn't be the first time, would it? I mean,
possible
Italian clubs.
But by doing that, but if they did that, they're technically bringing the price down for Lukaku. which is kind of what they need because they ain't got money. So
No, of course, of
I
course.
think down the line they will buy him back, but for a very low fee. We're gonna make a big loss, and fairly so, I guess. We got finessed.
Well, here's the thing: we say that, but then we also forget that we're under a new regime. So, did we really? Because, well, did Todd Boehly and the consortium really get finessed? Because
Not them, but like Chelsea, like on the books, we have a loss. Like
yeah,
the books are like crap, we're in the red. So I don't know. It just helps that we've got new ownership, and I think I think the fact that we got new ownership makes it easier for us to just go, yeah, it's fine, just screw it. We'll just, as long as he's gone, cool, we can start again. Because those new owners didn't buy him. So in the long run, it probably helps us, but we just need to get rid of him.
100%. Look, the positives I'm taking from it is exactly this from Joey saying, at least we don't have to pay 300k a week anymore. I think that's spot on. That's a whole lot of wages that have come off the book. And just in general, that toxic mentality, just having to see him week in, week out in the changing room, players knowing that he's not motivated to do his best. It's just he's just stinking the place out. So
Exactly.
to get him gone, I mean, cool. If I had it my way, I probably would have sold him to Anderlecht or something like that. But you get me. Here we are. He's gone back to his preferred Inter Milan. Yeah, I've got the feeling though, at the end of this loan, they're going to go for another one. And in that one, we might see an obligation to buy. I wouldn't be happy with an option to buy. It's got to be an obligation at that stage. So we know he's no longer our problem and he's just completely out the door.
I agree. It would be peak if he flopped at Inter. Could you imagine? And they're like, okay, now you know what? We got the best out of him. We don't want him. That would be mental. So we're kind of hoping that Lukaku actually performs at Inter. If not, we got a problem.
No, I think he has. I think he's going. I think he's going to perform out there. Honestly, he's got incentive as well. After kicking up all this fuss, finally going back and getting what he wants to get. And also AC Milan currently with the Scudetto as well. They're going to want to get that back. So there's a lot of incentive for him to do well, man. And I think he will. But listen, doesn't excuse the way he's treated us at the club. Interview, didn't back it up with performances. And now he's just, made us look the right mug. But the saving grace is, like we just said, Todd Boehly and the new consortium. It's exactly that he wasn't their investment. They can see from more, they can accept more like, shit's gone left. We're not really going to hold the blame for it. We just want to get the problem out the door. Because imagine just as owners, do you really want to start like your ownership, your first few minutes as owners of the club, having to deal with a player like this in your squad?
Oh, it'd be mental. It'd be mental, man. Especially like new regime, new way, and you just having to deal with this baggage. Like, which is just there. Like, no. And this is why I'm stressing. Like, it's the most important thing that he's left. The prime thing isn't to try and get as much money back as possible. It's to just make sure he goes. And we've done that. He's gone. So I'm happy at that. It's a waste of time. The whole thing was a waste of time. And I feel like that's the only thing that I look back and I regret. I'm like, oh, flipping out, man. We've been an entire season. All that money, all that time, all that effort, all that energy, and we didn't need to do that. But none of us knew that was going to happen anyway. So don't be gutted at yourselves too much. Look forward.
Now, thank you very much for the super chat, Bart Vikings. Boehly is right. People need to be sacked for the Lukaku deal. Fresh start. Now, this is what I was trying to, figure out in my mind. Obviously, I'm never going to know the answer, but were they actually sacked or was it agreed? Like, was it a thing like before when they knew that Boehly and them were going to take over and they had their meeting? Them man were like, listen, straight up and down, you're not continuing here, innit? So we can just move peacefully. You've made 20 M's each out of this sale. No one's complaining here. You can accept that as severance pay. Obviously, considering everything you've done for the club, we'll let you go quietly. We won't make a spectacle and embarrass you about it. It could have been that.
Yeah, easily. Could have been. I don't think we'll ever know. Sometimes it does happen where it's a case of say they're not happy with them or they're not convinced and then they want to let them go and then they'd agree to do it amicably. They agree to do it in a case of, oh, we're going to make it look like you've left and it's all good. But it could be the reverse. It could also be that, maybe Todd and them lot wanted them to stay, but they've seen new ownership and whatnot, and they've gone, they were there with Roman, and Roman's not there, so therefore we're gonna go too. Like, it could go either way. I don't think we'll truly ever know.
Either. Hold on, my TV's on. 1 second. The FIFA volume was on. But listen, man. Listen, people definitely had to go, and I think that is definitely the biggest transfer news. If you'd even consider it a transfer, the fact that our backroom staff has chopped and changed. It's just about, we got to see who the replacements are. We're gonna talk about that, but I just wanted to stay on the topic of transfers for now. Declan Rice. Have you seen the tweets coming out from Simon Phillips in that?
No, I saw a picture of him, Mount and Chalobah out in wherever they are. I don't know where they're at, but I've seen that picture of them together, which is no coincidence. But
so I did quote this in my previous video. Let me find it. I thought you would have seen it. So Simon Phillips was quoted in saying, "I believe talks are going on about Declan Rice to Chelsea, perhaps even about a fee and how it could be structured. Rice is Tuchel's top target for midfield, and Todd Boehly is adamant on backing Tuchel with the targets that he wants." And then there's another tweet, again quoted from Simon Phillips. "I'm receiving encouragement from a variety of people that Declan Rice to Chelsea could happen this summer."
In that case, I think it's happening then.
I've said...
we will attempt. We will go for him.
I said for weeks now, that there's no way anybody's convincing me we're going through this entire summer without at least testing the water over there at West Ham.
Yeah.
There's no chance. Especially given the fact that he's got a year left on his contract next summer.
Yep.
So, because, look, it's a difference between potentially 30 M's or so on the extreme side. It's from selling now, and because look, if they do, let's say they say yes to a deal, 75 plus add-ons or whatever, that's still a decent deal. They don't want to lose their player, but in terms of the returns that they're getting and potentially could get with the add-ons, it's a cushion. But then now, when you're going to the last year of the contract and that, you've now got two choices. I'm not going to sell the player. The player's definitely not going to sign a contract. Are we going to lose a talent like this for free when we could have got between 75 and 100 million for him last summer? Whereas now the max we can probably get all in is about 65, 60 M's. When you look at West Ham, can they afford to do that?
It's a weird one, because I know that when you look at Declan Rice from West Ham's perspective, they know they can get a lot of money for him. Right. And hence why I think they've put the value so high, because they know that's unrealistic. But someone will come, maybe not close, but close enough for them to be like, yeah, that's a good amount of money. Because Rice leaves whether they like it or not. At some point, Rice is going to leave West Ham, I think. And if I have to guess, he will be playing for Chelsea at some point in his career. So I think it's a case of Chelsea, I think, would be best to start off as low as possible and not go straight in to try and match their value or whatnot. Start as low as possible.
Opening bid is always that, isn't it?
But even if it's stupid, I'm talking like the sort of money that you're talking, like a 70 million bid. Like, start low. They want to go 150 and whatnot. No, start at 65 and just start from there. Take the mick, because that bid is not going to happen, right? So therefore, at that point, negotiations can begin, and then we'll see what can happen. There's the Broza deal, which I think if we're going for Rice, then Broza could be happening. Although it came out by Nizar Kinsella saying that Tuchel wants to see him in preseason. He's not selling Broza before preseason. He wants to see him play first before anything. So it could honestly be a case where Broza maybe even stays if he convinces Tuchel and we just go straight money. It's a possibility, but I do reckon we're going for Rice, because we need a defensive midfielder and he's the only one available.
Yeah.
At this point, we've let everyone else go. So,
and look, it makes no sense just not going for Chouameni even last summer. Yeah,
exactly.
It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But I think the number will definitely be in between 75 and 100, and we've got that in. You get me? We've got that in our bank. We can afford to do this. And if it's coming down to if the player wants to move himself, we already know what the answer is to that. He's been wanting this move for ages. If he was up to him, he would have been a Chelsea player by now.
Oh yeah.
100%. I don't think he ever would have left Cobham in the first place. The way he looks like he loves Chelsea, I reckon he would have been a Chelsea player, 100%. But we move. That's the news on Declan Rice. Obviously, there's been nothing concrete. No kind of bid has been made. But, the right people in terms of sources that I like to listen to and refer to anyway are sounding optimistic. So apparently Matt Law himself as well isn't completely closing the doors on that Declan Rice deal this summer. But look, I like I said, I'm just gonna stick with that feeling. I just have that gut feeling that he will be a Chelsea player.
Oh yeah, completely.
This summer, I hope.
I mean, again, it's down to that thing. We need a DM, and I know Rice is polarizing. Weirdly enough, the comments can tell you that right now. There are some people that are gassed, like, "Oh my god, Declan Rice." There's some people that are not buzzed at all. Right. Personally, I reckon I'm a bit in the middle. I reckon he's a good player. I reckon he'll definitely help in terms of our midfield and what we need. There definitely isn't, for me anyway, there isn't a, oh my god, Declan Rice, like wow, like, but
yeah.
I kind of like that it's like that, because chances are whenever we end up trying to go for someone who's like, oh my god, it doesn't work. So I'm happy if he comes and he improves and he excels even further and he finds a way at Chelsea and he becomes an even better player, then we're gonna win from this. So I just hope the money is reasonable and it's not stupid.
No, 100%.
Yeah,
we've had enough of those in it. Just
exactly, man.
Yeah, spunking stupid. But I don't know. I just feel like in terms of compared to the other targets that we was linked with, well, I think the one that was strong was obviously the Sangare dude, and I thought that was a massive risk in comparison to Declan Rice. At least, with Rice, I use this term very loosely, by the way. Premier League proven. He does have that. If you really think that's the be all and end all of a player, he does have that, and he has shown his quality in the league. But yeah, I think he fits right in. He's got friends at the club, knows the place already. You get me? So that's the news on Declan Rice. But while we've been talking, I've been seeing in the comments, because these lot always update me. I appreciate everybody in the chat for doing so. I'm seeing people saying that Barcelona have agreed terms with Jules Koundé. Now, look.
Nah, surely not.
Let's have it right. You've got to look at the verbiage of these things, because agreed terms and a price has been agreed and paid are two different things.
Yeah.
Koundé might have agreed terms with several other clubs. Now, listen, this ain't me saying he's definitely coming to Chelsea. He's definitely coming. I'm not saying that anything can happen in this transfer window, but I'm saying it's not unheard of for players to be agreeing with different clubs. It's sort of like a just-in-case insurance thing for some of these players. I'm not saying it's the best. I'm not saying that it fills me with encouragement. Of course, it's concerning, but Chelsea definitely can't afford to be dragging their heels, knowing that Barcelona have apparently got their finances sorted out to get this deal done.
I mean, I just hope in the case of the whole Koundé thing that we don't let it drag on for way too long. I feel like we have, but now we understand the situation and what's been happening at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Also, we have to acknowledge that with Koundé, him and Sevilla have been talking with Marina. That's going to stop. Like, they're going to have to talk with Todd now. So relationships change, new things change. Like, it's a complete different ball game. So I just hope it's a case where we can go in and close a deal quickly, like we should, and get him. If Barca get him, I won't lie, I'll be fuming. Because this is something that we could have ended up getting done last season. As much as I feel like we got scammed last season by Sevilla, but it's mad in terms of how, if we were to somehow let this go, it'd be crazy.
Well, here's the thing, and we've got to take the circumstances into consideration here. Let's say that, because I still have a feeling that he does become a Chelsea player. I'm not going to lie to you. I do think Koundé still does become a Chelsea player. But let's just say
so too. Yeah.
Just say the bag is fumbled on that, and we don't get him. Can you really be upset at that situation with who's currently in charge? Because they've been here for 5 minutes, and you can
Exactly.
see through their actions already with the Lukaku deal that I don't care what anybody tells me, something it doesn't smell right there to me in
Yeah.
terms of harmony. There had to be some, because there's no reason as to why Marina needed to walk now when she already gave a commitment and said she's willing to stay for the transfer window. Even says we're gonna come into Matt Law's article in a bit. How much time do you have, by the way, Younes, so I know when to get into it?
I do have another 15 minutes or so. Should be all right.
That's perfect. So I don't know. I think the Koundé deal still gets done. Hopefully, Todd Boehly knows like time is of the essence now. That's a player that Tuchel wants, and if he does want to back the manager, you better start by getting him because he's hell bent on Koundé, as we know. So, in terms of my worries for that, I'm not in panic mode just yet. If I don't see anything by the end of this week and Barcelona rumors intensify, then I'm gonna get worried. Then I'm gonna get proper worried.
Big time. I agree.
Yeah, but
although I did see that Barcelona apparently don't want to pay the asking price that Sevilla are putting out for Koundé, but
and also as well, like financially, the package that we're offering Koundé, Barca ain't competing with it. That much I do know. So it'll be interesting to see. Big up all the people that have joined. We've got, from what I can see, 391 people in the building. Make sure you do smash up that like button as well. Subscribe to the thing if you are new. You get me? But big up everybody for showing love and joining in. But yeah, man, Koundé, not to worry just yet. But if we are, look, to the people that haven't really paid too much attention to what's been going on over the past few days, if you're worried about signings and you think this is going to be a repeat of previous windows where we failed to get our targets, it's a different situation now completely, because we've just had a major change in the middle of a transfer window as well, ideally at a time where you don't want to do it, but at least it shows an indication and a willingness to get things done. You see what I mean? So this is why I'm going to remain optimistic. I might be naive in doing so, but I'm going to remain optimistic for some of our targets. But yeah, so filling that void temporarily is Todd Boehly. He has stepped in as quote unquote interim sporting director, if you want to call it that position. So we know he's not going to be there permanently, but the two that we have strongly been linked with, now it's a different story whether we're going to get them, are Paul Mitchell and Michael Edwards. So obviously the latter, Michael Edwards, apparently we've been monitoring since he's just left Liverpool, by the way. He's been there for about 11 years. His contract just finished in summer. So we've been talking to him to try and sort of see what his plans are. But who do you think one of the two are the realistic target, or do you think it's going to be somebody else?
I honestly think it's going to be someone else, but if I had my way, I'd take Michael Edwards easily. The vibe I get from Michael Edwards, if he were to come, would be the same vibe that I got from Peter Kenyon when we got him from Man United all those years ago, right? Because when Roman was here, and remember the links with Michael Edwards that came out when, even before the sanctions, like before the whole thing with Roman happened, everything was still looking like it was okay. And even then, I personally I don't think he's going to jump from Liverpool to Chelsea. He clearly wants to leave Liverpool to maybe have a break, maybe, relax a little bit and then see. But with new ownership, with a complete restructure, with a position of sporting director now, which we didn't have before, sitting there ready to be taken, it could be a case of maybe we sell the entire project to him and we maybe tempt him. And we go, look, this isn't the Chelsea that you were competing against. It's a completely new club. It's a new Chelsea with new people. Like, we want you to come in and run the football side of the club. Yeah, we want you to take things in your way. He's worked with a German coach. He's worked with Klopp. He'd work with Tuchel if he were to come. I honestly think that in the same way we managed to lure Peter Kenyon from Alex Ferguson when he was working at United at the time, and there was no reason to leave that club, but we sold it to him. Roman had just come in, new project. We want to start a revolution. We want you to spearhead it. And he accepted. It's the same way that maybe we can get Michael Edwards to accept. I'd like to think that anyway, but I don't see it happening really. I'd love it to, though.
Bro, you know what I think happened with Peter Kenyon, fam? I reckon we absolutely threw the bag at him and just said, listen, just come to Chelsea. We're just going to mash things up and just get paid while you're at it, fam. Yeah,
Yeah,
you can't continue at Man United doing what you're doing. We need some of that. You get me? And the rest is history. But Matt Law did say in his article, Atletico Madrid's Andrea Berta has already been linked to the sporting director role at Chelsea, while the club are likely to make an effort to find out the plans of Michael Edwards, who has left his position at Liverpool. Chelsea's former director of football, Michael Emenalo, is out of work after turning down a role at Newcastle United. Now, before we come on to those two, I do want to speak about Paul Mitchell, though, because if I had my choice out of those four, I'm going for Paul Mitchell, fam.
Really?
I'm telling you, because I've done the research on this guy. His work with Red Bull, obviously his work over at Monaco now, but that's slightly a different challenge because for him it was more about getting them more at a sustainable level because of everything that's happened at COVID, and they wanted to do that through, you know, the player philosophies, young players, and selling them on for a profit, etc., etc. You know that stuff. So now, what he has said several times is that he is committed to that project in Monaco. He does want to, you know, complete what he was there to do. So he does sound like an honorable man of his word. So I think it's very unlikely he does come. But in terms of some of the things that he's done with Tottenham, you know, some of the players that he took to that club, like if it weren't for him, probably Hyun Sung Min wouldn't be at the club. See what I'm saying? Man, like who else was it that was said? Like Victor Wanyama's, several of your pivotal players that was involved in that failed title push. Obviously, Eden Hazard with that goal. I love that goal. That's one of my favorite ever Chelsea goals, bro. Loved it. But yeah, he's done a good job there. He did a very good job at Southampton as well. Obviously, he was the one that took Sadio Mane there for £10 million. What a signing that was. And there's several other players that I just haven't mentioned as well. Like if you look at his CV, he's very impressive. Now, what sells me on this guy is the fact that he has a big team. So, like, if he was to come in, I don't know if it's similar with Michael Edwards. I've just done a bit more due diligence on Paul Mitchell, but I don't know if it's going to be the same. But he's going to come in and overhaul the entire scouting department existing there.
Thank God for that.
Like, see you later. I've got my own people. We've got our own plan.
In that case, get him immediately, please.
I wish it was as easy as that, man. But it's just, look, I feel because both of them have said they love the Premier League and they see themselves working in the Premier League again. Wherever they are now is not going to be permanent if it's outside of the Prem. That's where they're destined to stay. Michael Edwards has come out and said he wants a new challenge. He has been in the Prem for the past 11 years with Liverpool and he's done a brilliant job there. So he does want a change of scenery. So whatever Todd offers this guy is quite like you said, it's got to be like a Roman thing where it's like, yo, big man, here's the bag in it and just come and do the thing at Chelsea Football Club.
Yeah, completely. The thing is, we need to end up throwing the bag regardless, I think, in order to tempt someone to come because if they're out of work, then okay. But if they're not and they're in a job, then we have to try and get them, of course. Or even in the case of Michael Edwards, if we're trying to tempt him out of staying at home for a bit and relaxing, we need to make sure he gets paid well. But ultimately, someone that's going to come in and shift the entire spectrum in terms of the sporting director role, the scouting department needs to be flipping, not just flipped upside down. It needs to be picked up, thrown out of the window from the 52nd floor, and then start building again because our scouting department's turned into a joke. Like
which I think it will, because remember we've also got Daniel. We've also got Daniel Finkelstein as well, who is I know he's got some kind of role at the club, but I know it's not an executive one. But still, with him, he's got very, very good relationships with, I believe, both Michael Edwards and Paul Mitchell. So that could be a decisive factor in this thing. Yeah, because you know how much he's into the data thing. And I believe Paul Mitchell was very much into that as well. So I know that there's an existing relationship there between the two. But no, definitely, man, just to have a system where this existing scouting team is just overthrown. it's a must. It's an absolute must. So that's what sells me more on Paul Mitchell. Could be the same situation for Michael Edwards. I don't know. Like I'm gonna have to do some more reading on that. But and then you've got Andrea Berto. Now this is somebody I think that we need to take seriously here in terms of being that guy to take that position.
I think he's the favorite.
Yeah,
personally. So yeah.
I think so. I think so too. And people are saying Emanalo is an outside choice. Don't get it twisted. I think there might be more legs to that than what people think. How would you feel with him coming back in? Would you not take him back?
No, come on, we're done with that, man. I ain't going back there.
But is it under this?
No, but you know what?
Gone
with Emanalo, yeah. It's a mad one because I remember. Look, if you had 2016 Younes on here right now, he'd be punching the screen. No, you know what? Look, there's a case of not wanting to go back.
Yeah,
you know, every time we go back, it goes wrong at this club. I don't want us to go back. But my last memory of Emanalo was that, and I think Marina had part to blame here on this as well.
I know what you're gonna say. Go on.
That shambolic window we had, right? They were both responsible for that, and I wanted them both gone. I ain't doing that again. No, it's not. get a proper sporting director in.
Wait, I forgot because you know what? Yeah, just as you said that, the name flashed in my head. Papi's Gilo Bodji, and then you've got this other American geezer, Matt Miazga, I believe, was on his watch as well.
It.
Oh, that was an absolute.
Michael Hector.
Oh my!
Was Emanalo.
Yeah,
like,
it was.
I'm not doing that
sorry,
again,
listen, Michael. Thank you for De Bruyne, Salah, and who was the other
Hazard?
one?
Did he get Hazard?
Hazard as well. But them man there put your career on a fast train down south, cuz. Yeah, Pato as well was his idea to bring him to Chelsea. Flipping hell, bruv. Do you know what? At that point, because listen, people, let me know what you think in the chat as well. I think, at some point he must have felt so disrespected and said, you know what? I'm tired of you lot not taking my signing seriously. So I'm just gonna troll you, man. I'm gonna give you the worst of the worst targets and see what you do with them. Because it don't make sense. It don't correlate, bro.
Yeah, he might have.
You get me? Look, Wayland's coming with some more names. Look at this fuckery, blood.
Ramen, bruv. Oh,
Baba Ramen. You could not go, bro. You cannot go from Eden Hazard, Kevin De Bruyne, Mo Salah, even to be fair on the flipping Buffalo, Romelu Lukaku as well. These are generational players. All four of them, if you really, except for the... I'm going to stop with Lukaku. He's not my concern anymore. But they're all generational players. So you cannot go from that to this, fam.
You know what hurt? Yeah, deep. I think with Emanalo and all them lot. Yeah, exactly. This is the thing. I wanted Mourinho to be backed after we won the title. I was like, back Mourinho. We didn't. Emanalo, Marina. Conte, he won the title. I was like, back Conte, give him what he wants. We didn't. Got Zappacosta and all them lot. And these guys that you can see on the screen, that was the horrific window right there. Look at that. You call that a window?
Man said Nathan. Who the hell is that? Look, he's signed guys on a first name basis. Hector, Nathan, bruv, what's going on here? You sign players on their last name. You sign these men on their first name basis and that. That's how you know it's going left. What is going on here? Drink water. Oh, flipping hell, bruv.
It hurt. That window hurt too much. I was like, yo. And that's when Emanalo decided to leave, or he left. And I was like, okay, we're 50% there. Next has to be Marina. And she stayed. And yeah, at least from a financial aspect, done some good things. So fair play. But we need a complete shift. We need to get in a proper director, someone prominent. Like someone who knows what they're doing. And I kept quoting back then. I kept quoting Peter Kenyon. So like, look at what Peter Kenyon done. And look at what we're doing now. Mad, man. That window traumatized me.
We've listened. The dream for me would be to either get Edwards or Mitchell in. Berta to me looks like the favorite currently.
Yeah, I think so.
I hope Emanalo's kicked to the curb. The outside favorite as well is the guy at Sporting. Raul something Vieira, Raul, his name's at the top of my head, but we're looking at him as well. But let's see. Hopefully, Todd Boehly will be able to say, "Look, we've got an extra bit of money that we can throw at you, man. Just come." Like Paul Mitchell, like fuck Monaco, bruv. You need to come back to Chelsea and do something over here. I hope he can do that. 100% hope he can do that.
Fingers crossed.
But yeah, I forgot there was one last thing I wanted to mention before we went. Have we pretty much covered everything? Do you know what? Yeah, just a couple of one or two signings that I did. Potential signings that I did forget to mention that I've been asked about. I don't like to ignore the people's, but one of them is potentially Jonathan. I don't want to say his last name. Your Klaus, yeah, because I'm known for butchering names. Yeah. 10 million is the fee. From what I've seen of him, bruv, he looks like a tidy player. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna sit and pretend that I know him inside out, but for a backup to Reece James, what do you think of that?
Exactly. Perfect. That's perfect. And what's mad is he was quoted in May. No, was it May? No. March. Somewhere like a while ago, right? He was quoted that saying like, "Oh, his dream would be Chelsea. Like, there's only one club, Chelsea." So I don't know if he was asked what team if you had to choose, he just went Chelsea. So it would be nice. It would be nice to have him, but at the same time, look, as a backup for the role that he plays as a right wing back, even though he's 29 years old, has some years left in the tank, is a French international, I think would be content with being the backup or knowing that Reece James is ahead of you and you're going to have to pull on some miracle to try and get ahead of Reece. It's not happening. Yeah. I think he'd be happy with that. And it's not going to be a case of a player kicking up a fuss that I'm not getting enough minutes. I think he'd be completely cool and he'd get a job done when called upon. So I think it works. 10 million as well. Bargain. And his wage at the moment, I think he's on peanuts. I swear, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's on 8K a week or something. It's something.
Yeah, you see? No, look, there's several things here that go in our favor, but there's one thing that I did see here that I wanted to address. Now, apparently, from what I've heard, this might be a little deceiving. Yes, we do know that he is 29 years old, but apparently he has only been playing at the top flight for the last 2 years.
For long.
Yeah, set me. So there you go. So in terms of experience, he doesn't really have the most at top level, but then when you look at the rise that he's had, this is like an Edouard Mendy thing, like on a
exactly.
Yeah, it is. He's gone from not playing at the highest level. He
was in the second division of the Bundesliga, so the German second division.
You see what I'm saying? So to now he's also in the French national team as well, and we know how hard it is to get in there. It's basically elite players in every position. So for him to even be sitting on the bench compared to where he was 3 years ago. Flipping hell.
That's a rise you expect in a 21-year-old.
Right.
Not in a 27-year-old.
So
he's 29 now.
So now if you're questioning minerals, yeah, which is what Johnny looks for, big up Johnny all day long, my brother, yeah, with the minerals, he's got them in abundance. And on top of that, yeah, his dream club is Chelsea. Because I've heard that interview that you was just speaking about.
Yeah.
This man would probably walk from France to Stamford Bridge to sign a contract for Chelsea. The way this guy loves the club.
Yep.
That's what we need.
Perfect. Yeah, big time.
And I think he accepts that role. I think he's the proudest backup in the Premier League.
Exactly that. And we need that for someone to replace an Asby. That's perfect.
Absolutely. 29 years old, and these days, this is your prime as well. Do you know what I mean? So and with technology as well, players are not falling off at like 31, 32, 33. They're going on longer. You've got Benzema, who's competing for Ballon d'Ors, and he's 34 years old. Lewandowski, 35 years old. Listen, it's all a myth, man. We've got a player there, and the most important thing is that he's gonna play his heart out for that shirt, as well as deliver the minerals, I believe. Anyway, so there's that. You get me? But Younes, I'm not trying to keep you for too long. I know you do have to go. I appreciate you for joining me as well. Anyway, it was kind of short notice when I asked you. But what have you got coming up, or what have you already uploaded for the peoples?
So video coming out shortly, very shortly. No, it could be the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes. We'll see. The latest, the board shuffle at Chelsea. My thoughts on it. Lukaku leaving, my thoughts on it. Possible Rafinha, who's linked with Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham, and who's running that, Barcelona too. And also Mane, who's signed for Bayern Munich. And on top of that, PSG apparently willing to let Neymar go this summer.
I don't think he's coming to Chelsea.
I don't think so. I don't think so. But it'd be interesting to see what happens there. So yeah, my thoughts on all of that coming out very, very shortly.
Yep. As for me, several things I'm gonna say. It's gonna be a bit of a list. You get me? I've got my scroll out. First of all, we did record this week's episode of Back Again today, so that will be out tomorrow. Make sure you check that out on Troops TV. Also, as well, I need to give a massive shout out to Nini FC because of the content that he's been bringing out as well, consistently, as well as Younes. But he has definitely been spoiling us with good quality. I've been watching him. I spoke to him the other day as well, man. So definitely big up Nini FC. What was my last one? Yeah, my last one is that I did an upload earlier as well. So make sure you do go and check that out. But yeah, man, big up everybody that has been joining. The more news that does come out, the more consistency you will be seeing from me in this transfer window. And I do believe that over the next couple of weeks, it's going to be busy for Chelsea. We may be spoiled. We may be very spoiled. I, for one, would love to see Declan Rice coming into Chelsea. For me, that turns the window from, look, if we signed your Neymars, whoever, for me, you can't look above a 6.5 out of 10 without a Rice. But with a Rice, up there for me. But big up everybody, man. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, please make sure you stay safe. Follow us down there in the descriptions, clickable links, and all that good stuff. Bless up.